Hey guys, so I'm just about to do some text edits. I'm going to edit the description and the title of a sword mod that I've been working on. And so this is just meant as a quick tutorial. I'm working on the us.pack right now for the sword mod, and this is really just meant as a complimentary video tutorial for Coolshock's upcoming tutorial, which of course will, I'm sure, be far more in depth than this video is going to be. This is just me ripping through it really quickly, just to show those of you who are somewhat familiar with the tools and the process. It's just a reference guide so you know how to get through it and end up with your edits. So we're going to start with the base weapon. I'm going to open up Cemu and show you guys the original text for it, and I'll direct you through the process of changing everything, show you how to use the tools. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it. So we'll open up Cemu here. We'll load up Zelda. It'll take a moment to load, of course. Alright, so here we go. Here's the great fairy sword that I've been working on. Let's get into it. As you can see, it has the original description here. The Royal Guard's Claymore. Obviously for this mod this isn't ideal. You know, as a model import you could just leave it here where it is, but we want to take it just a step further and give it, you know, its own unique description, so it kind of feels like it's more authentic and it fits more into the Zelda mythos. So I'm going to close out Cemu and we're going to jump into the tools, and I'm going to show you how to do this. Alright, let's see. So you're going to need a few things. You're going to need the Yaz0 decoder to decrypt it, and the encoder or the encryption tools. So here they are respectively. Decryption, encryption. You're going to need a copy of WiiUZip. I'll provide links to these all in the description, by the way. You're going to need the original .pack. So if you're running a US copy of Zelda Breath of the Wild, you're gonna want boot_up_u_scn.pack, PACK. Of course, if it's the European or whatever, what have you. Actually, like, I'm using the European version, so mine says EU here instead of US. I'm doing the US one right now with you guys. I'm gonna walk through the process of doing it, because when people download and install this mod, if they're using the US version of Zelda Breath of the Wild in Cemu, I want to make sure that the text descriptions show up for them too. So you would do this for all of the different regions that you want your mod to support. Let's see, what else do we need a copy of? There's a couple more tools that we need. Of course, we need Wexo's Toolbox here, and we need a copy of, what is it? MSBT Editor. And I'll get into explaining what this does in a little bit. So let's go. So first thing you need to do is open up your .pack file, and that's where Wexo's Toolbox comes in. So let's open that up and search for our .pack file. Open. So this is in the right directory. Here it is, boot up the US English pack. We're going to open that up. And so here it is in the toolbox. We want to open up this file tree, and there's only one file inside of it. It's this .ssarc file, or sarc file. We want to right click on this and export it. So it's important to know that the .pack file is pretty much just like if you were doing model or texture editing. You have the .sbres, SBFRES file, and of course we would convert that to a BFRES file. The pack is pretty much just like that. It's a container that holds the data inside. So this is the file that we want to get to, the sarc file. So we're going to extract it into our directory here. Export. Now it's gonna bring this message up it's message slash. We're not using this directory, we just want the file. So we're going to delete the message slash and just save it as its base name. So you can see that it popped up there into our directory. We can close this toolbox out for now. We'll come back to it later. And I'll minimize this Wexo's toolbox as well. Alright, now that we have the sarc file extracted from our pack, the next thing we need to do is decrypt this file. It's actually encrypted right now with Yaz0 encryption, so to get to the data inside of it, we need to decrypt it. So drag it over top of the Yaz0 decryption executable and release, and it will do its thing. There we go. So we have the decrypted contents of the sarc file, and it is a rarc file. Now, I'm not familiar with what these are, but in theory, we know that this is the decrypted contents of the sarc file. So we can cut this, and we're going to bring this over to our Wii UZip application. So we can paste it in the directory here. Now take your file and click and drag it over top of the application. And this is everything that the rarc file contains. It has, text information for different events, for quests. What else is in here? We have events, layout. Not sure what demo is, event flow. But what we're after right now is actor type. But we'll get to that in a moment. What we want to do right now is extract everything so that we can take these MSBT files and actually edit them in our MSBT file editor. So hit extract all. There we go. We can close this program out temporarily. We're going to get back into it. Right click. I'm going to create a new folder and just call this extracted. You can select all the new folders that came out. You won't have a backup folder like this. This is my own backup folder. I'm always making copies of things. And you want to pull all this data and put it inside of extracted. Alright, so let's jump into extracted. The specific thing I'm after is the text description in title for Longsword 47, which again is the Royal Sword, the Royal Guard's Claymore. So I already know where it is. It's under actor type, and it's under weapon large sword.msbt. So we want to go back to our other tool, or to our other tool for the first time. It's not Wexo's Toolbox. We're going to go to MSBT Editor. So let's open this up. Of course, this is going to allow us to edit these files. So we'll go to File and Open, and we're going to search for this file. So I know where the data already is. It's under Weapon Large Sword. Click on that and click Open. What opens up here is everything within the file. We have description names for our weapon. We have the name, which is the name of it that appears, and we have the picture book description. So if you wanted to, you could actually have your description picture book description be a little bit different, though I'm not really sure why anybody would want to do that. It's possible. So let's scroll down. We're searching for weapon 47, which is of course the model that I based the fairy sword off of. And where is it? Right here, description. Alright, so this is weapon 47, of course the Royal Guard's Claymore that we've been editing for the Great Fairy Sword. So over here we can see the original text, and right now it's the same as the edited text. We have underscore description, underscore picture book, and these again are the same. And in the center we have the name. So what we want to do here is change all this. So this is going to be the Great Fairy Sword. Now we can save it right now as we go along, but I'm going to save everything at the end. So let's get into our description here. I also have this saved, so I'm going to copy it over from my text file and paste it into edit. So I want to change this just a little bit because this isn't exactly what I want it to say. I do space. Enter will of course do a line break. You're going to want to keep these descriptions fairly close in character length to what the original were. Otherwise you're going to have some strange issues where all the text isn't displayed properly. You're also going to want to use line breaks because if you don't, you're going to notice that your text is going to actually just keep going off this side of the screen, which obviously is no good. So I think that will do. Transcendent. This blade was forged by the great fairy's enduring love. With black roses etched into it, this sword is the most powerful of all blades. That's great. So I'm going to copy that from description and I'm going to put it into the picture book description as well. And that's pretty much all we have to do. Description, picture book description, it's all the same. The name has been changed. Save it, make sure everything's saved properly. Let's get out of here and move on. So we'll minimize this tool. We'll come back to that window in a moment. So this file, weapon_large_sword.msbt, has now been edited with our changes, and that's exactly what we want. So we're going to scroll up, and what we want to do is go back to WiiUZip here. So this is the decrypted file that we used to extract all these files from. What we want to do is open it up again in WiiUZip. And we want to search for that file. So it was under actor, I believe. Let's see, actor dragon, that's not right. Actor type, weapon large sword. So this is still the original one. What we want to do now is click on replace file. Let's get back into our directory, into extracted. So we want to find that file that we just edited and replace it. So there it is. We're going to open that up. Now it's replaced. Temporarily though, it's only sitting in this application's memory. So now we have to save our file changes. So hit file, go to save, hit sarc. So this is kind of strange here, but just follow these steps and you should end up where I end up. So I'm gonna call this replaced because I get confused easily with all these names and file types. So I'm calling it replaced, and I'm going to label it .sarc and hit save. Should create the file for me. And I'm feeling that it saved it under extracted, which it might do for you. Let's just check the directory. So yeah, it's actually saved it under extracted in actor type. That's not where I want it. So let's take this file and go up to our main directory for WiiUZip. I'm gonna paste it here. So there it is. You can save it there from the get-go and you won't have to do this. But we're just doing this in real time so you get to see me screw up as I go along. All right, replace.sarc. You'll notice that these have different extension names. I don't really understand what the .sarc and .rarc extensions are, but all you really need to know is that these files are the same size, and for all intents and purposes, for what we're trying to do, it's exactly the same. So we're going to cut this and go back up to our main directory. This is the part of the tutorial where we actually put this back into our .pack. So let's paste it. Now this is pretty much a decrypted version of our original sarc file. This original sarc file we don't actually need anymore, so let's delete it because we're going to make a new one. Now this replace sarc file, we need to actually encrypt it again so we can get it into the pack. So click and drag it over top of Yaz0 encryption. Yaz0 encryption, Yaz0 encrypted, not really sure exactly what the application's called, but that's the one you want. Hit run and it'll do its thing. It's really, really quick. There we go, so we have this new file right here. and you can see it's a Yaz0 extension, which is pretty much what this is doing, is indicating that it's a Yaz0 encrypted file. But for injecting it back into our .pack file, we need to change this. It needs to have the original name, which of course is a .sarc, even though it's a Yaz0 encrypted file. So let's just copy the original file name, and we're going to go back to our new one, and we're going to replace the entire file name with the original and hit enter, and it's going to say, are you sure you want to change it? And yes, we're pretty sure we want to do that. So one more step and we're almost there. So now we just have to get the .sarc into our pack file. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to open up Wexo's Toolbox again, or Wexo's. I have it spelled wrong. It's actually an X. Wexo's Toolbox. Let's change that right now. So Wexo's Toolbox. Respect and represent. All right, so let's open Wexo's Toolbox. We can minimize that. Here's the toolbox. So we want to open up our original .pack file, just like we did last time. And there we go. Expand that, and there's the original .sarc that's inside of the .pack. So we're going to replace this with our new one. So right click and go down to replace. And right here is our new file. So let's select that and open it up. And now we want to save this .pack file. Now it's saved. So this is now our updated pack file. And this is where we want to hop over to Cemu. So let's go into our update directory, our updates and DLC directory. Now I'm still using the European version of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So your code is going to be a little bit different. Just be mindful of that. Your directory code is a little bit different. It's different for each of the regions. But you just want to know that, you know, if you're testing on a US build, you're testing with that ROM. If you're or ISO, if you're testing with EU, you want to use that one. I only have the EU one. I'm actually going to send this file to somebody else to test for me who has the US copy, but I know that it's going to work. So we open up content, we open up pack, then we take this file, and you can see that I've already backed up. I always back up my files, and I'm always making copies, and I highly suggest that you do the same thing. It really helps avoid any confusion. So you paste it in the directory just like that. Like I said earlier, I'm actually using the EU version. So, and again, I've already done this for the EU version of the game. So I'm going to set it like that, and we have the EU copy and the US copy. So let's go back to Cemu and we're going to test it. And I know that they both work. So we're just going to go through this and I'll show you the end result. All right, let's hop back into our game. And check out our newly edited description. So there we go, there's the Great Fairy's sword. Let's go back into our inventory. And there you have it. Our description is changed along with the title name. And it's really as simple as that. Once you guys get the tools downloaded and you know, become a little bit more familiar with the process, it's actually a really easy thing to do. So again, I really just created this tutorial as a complimentary video tutorial to ColdShock's upcoming tutorial, which is a text tutorial, and it should be up on the site soon. So, and I'm sure that's going to be a lot more concise and detail oriented than this tutorial was. So go check that out. As soon as that's released, I'm going to have that down in the description below for everybody to use. Thumbs up to ColdShock. He helped me originally with getting this to work, and I was waiting for his tutorial to come out, and I thought I would take another stab at it, and I figured out how to do it. So I thought I would just throw this out there for you guys, anybody else who's waiting on it and, you know, want to get your descriptions working and you're familiar with the tools. I hope this helps. Okay guys, so that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has helped you if you've been struggling with trying to do this yourself. And again, make sure to check out ColdShock's tutorial because I know it's going to be much more concise than this and a hell of a lot shorter. So go check that out. I'm sure it's going to be coming out very, very soon. And yeah, again, thanks for watching and I'll see you all in the community. Peace. Guys, give me feedback. If you like this type of content, please let me know in the comments below. Give the video a like, and if you're not already subscribed, please do so. I have a lot of new ideas for different content on the way. Make sure to also hop into the Regenerate Discord server. We have a great community full of passionate members that just keeps on growing. It's really the place to be. So come join us and see what the community is really all about. That's all for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
You